Onslaught.
Yo,
Not time.
Onslaught.
Yeah.
Onslaught. Definitely not the building. Side rider. This dedicated to all my strugglers. So I say, no, we need a change. We see a black president.
Hello everyone, my name is Kemal Taylor. I'm sitting here with Mr. Richard Sullivan, about to talk about his book, The Secrets of the Unadilla, on this topic today.
The idea of the book came to me when I was about 10 years old, and I had one of these childhood diseases. I don't remember which one it was. It was either the mumps or the measles or smallpox or leprosy. I don't remember, but I was on the couch for about 2 weeks, and my mother came to me and she said, "Here, read this book." And she gave me an Agatha Christie book, The Queen of the Whodunits, and I read it in about 10 days. And I always wanted to tell myself, once I read that book, I always wanted to write a book like that. And I kept that in my head for 45 years. Yes, it was. I mean, the whole book is about personal experiences, but they're not really real people in the book. There were no people in that book that are actual people.
So I guess that comes to my second question. My third question is, are the characters in the book real or made up?
They are made up. There's only one character in the book who is a real person, who's got a real name, and who is an actual person. The rest of them are just conglomerate people of mixtures of this and that.
What were your most difficult challenges in writing the book?
My most, that's a good question. My most difficult challenges were, I wrote that book in 1990 on a IBM Selectric typewriter. And then as the John Lennon song goes, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. And in the interim, I moved upstate New York. I opened up a restaurant for 7 years. That went under. Then I came back down to Brooklyn, and I picked up the book again. And because of my publisher, Karen Hunter, she encouraged me to give her the manuscript, and she liked it, and she published it. So it was a 19-year effort.
How did the restaurant going under affect your writing?
Actually, it didn't at all, because my writing was something I did before I had the restaurant.
Okay.
It was something I put on the shelf. It was something I just put away. But when I lost my restaurant and I moved back to Brooklyn in 2002, I connected with Karen Hunter, and she said to me, "Hey, you've got a manuscript, you've got a book. Why don't you polish it up? You have no excuse, because this is the age of the computer. You can edit it, and you're not typing on paper with whiteout anymore." And she said, "Send me something, and if it's good, I'll publish it." And that's what I did, and she did publish it. All I want for people to get out of this book is to enjoy a fun read. Just to read it on the subway, the bus, the train. It's not deep. It's not The Diary of Anne Frank. It's not War and Peace. It's not Alexander Solzhenitsyn's Gulag Archipelago. It's just an enjoyable book, I hope, that you can read on the train and then put it down and say, "Hey, the stops went by fast. I enjoyed it." The only author I've been inspired by is Agatha Christie.
That's what I mean.
Right. Do I have other?
Authors
Yeah.
that you-
No. I wish if I did, I'd tell you. My next project is my next book, and it's called My Friend Elginat. It's a guy that lives in New York City, and his wife dies, and he winds up moving upstate, and he thinks he's like getting away from the evil New York City, but he doesn't know. They're like, he has no idea what he's really getting into. And I'm saying that from personal experience. I mean, that's exactly, because I lived upstate for 15 years. And these people up there, I mean, you would not believe what goes on up there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You read the daily news like, oh, this one did this, that, and the other thing.
Have you ever written, ghostwritten for anyone?
I have, but when you ghostwrite for somebody, you cannot tell whom you've ghostwritten for. So we're just going to keep that under the table. Yes, I have. And I've done that for people you know. But that's the ghostwriter's code of honor. If you ghostwrite, you don't say whom you've ghostwritten for. I'll tell you later. Sort of like a priest-confessor thing. You know what I'm saying? If somebody says to me, Rich, I wrote this thing, and you know, I really don't know what to do with it. Can you write it for me? I write it for them, and then and but the thing is, that's the that's why they call them a ghost writer, because they're not there. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not gonna have somebody come out with a book, and then post something on Facebook going, you're like, oh, I wrote that, which I basically did.
Right.
I mean, it's.
How do you think the industry? I mean, is it, you're saying it's a precedent, but does the industry react to it? Because I mean, you know, like as far as with rappers, that's another big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only people that know. You know, there's guys that ghostwrite rap songs, and
Right.
guys that
Mm-hmm.
ghostwrite R&B songs. I mean, I don't know, why do you think it's so secretive?
It's secret. It has been forever. I mean, this isn't something new. This isn't 21st century.
Right.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt had his speeches written for him. You know, Abraham Lincoln had his speeches written for him. This isn't anything, you know, YouTube generation. This is from forever. I'm sure Julius Caesar had his speeches. I'm sure Shakespeare had his speeches written for him. Anybody that, you know, John F. Kennedy, perfect example. Always given, oh, you know, ask not for what you can do. Do you think he sat down with a pencil and like wrote that out? Of course he didn't. He had Theodore Sorensen, who was his alter ego, writing this stuff, you know, and giving it to him like, here you go, here's your speech. And it's always been thus. It's always been that way.
But what does that say about the ability of the person? Does it decrease the ability of the person to think and grow, or does it mean that this person is just a made-up doll or something to that?
I think most people who are in public life are charlatans. With the exception, I will say this, with the exception of Obama, I really have incredible faith in him. Because he and I think exactly the same way. Okay? He takes his time, doesn't rise to the bait. You know, I ain't gonna send my troops into Afghanistan, you know, get 4,000 kids killed until I really get this straightened out in my head. He and I are like that. Everybody else, forget about it. I don't care. No, there's got to be something the matter with you if you're going to go into politics anyway, I think.
So
right?
we'll never see you running for president.
No. No. How about you though? You got the look. Yeah, you got the height.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see what time brings. But
Are you a conservative Republican?
not yet. Until I get a couple zeros. Until I get those zeros out there. Mrs. Sullivan, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for your time and giving the world details about the secrets of Unadilla and your wealth of knowledge. So hopefully to see you as the New York bestseller. And you could come back again and give me
Come
the
on.
scoop.
I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah, see you in Jamaica. Does anybody want to say thank you to?
I want to say first and foremost, I want to say thank you to my publisher Karen Hunter, who believed in me and who published my book. And secondly, I want to say thank you to Mary Campbell Camp, my editor, who turned it into something that was readable. Thank you both, Karen, Mary. God bless you both. I love you.
Go get it. #1 bestseller.